Today on Fresno State Focus on Sports, we preview Fresno State football's homecoming game this Saturday.
We take a look at how the equestrian team beat TCU for the first time in 4 years.
Plus, we take you behind the scenes at a local TV station to find out what it takes to be a sports director. Fresno State Focus on Sports starts now. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus on Sports. I'm Riley Baltimore.
And I'm Riley Nardo. We have a great show for you as we start things off with Fresno State football's homecoming game against San Diego State this Saturday. They'll be playing a week after another bye week. This Saturday, the game is a blackout and a throwback with a different helmet logo. The Dogs are getting rid of the script and bringing out the Bulldog face. There will also be a Ring of Honor introduction. Bulldog legend Jeff Tedford will be inducted during halftime. Kickoff is set for 12:30 Saturday afternoon. Riley, you were on the cheer team. How excited are you for the homecoming?
I'm really excited. You know, as I finished my last 4 years on the cheer team last year, I actually get the opportunity to be a part of the alumni performance that is thrown every year. So I'm really excited for that. What about you?
I'm excited as we say, it's our last year. So this will be the last homecoming game that I can go to as a student. So I'm excited, and I love the blackout. I think it makes the game a lot more, it's cool to look at the stands. It's really cool to look at the stands. I know it's going to be a little weird with the sun being out and it not being, a nighttime game, but I still think Fresno State's going to make it look really cool. I
agree. I think it'll definitely be a great time, whether it's during the day or if the lights are shining, and I think it being a blackout game is really cool as well.
All right. Finley Pendergast is with a special guest to talk more about Saturday's game.
Yeah, let's talk more about that afternoon start time and if it could actually help the Bulldogs, who are coming off a bye week and a loss to Colorado State. With me today to talk about that 12:30 kickoff is Fox 26 sports reporter Gabe Camarillo. So let's get things started with that post that you made on X as soon as the schedule got released. You said, does this mean a better chance at a full stadium in the fourth quarter? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a legitimate question. Is that going to happen? Are we going to see fans filing out into the exits in the third quarter like we saw in the Nevada game? And I thought that was actually kind of surprising because it was a close game. I know Fresno State was up 20-3 at halftime, but then Nevada came back, and I think the Bulldogs could have used some great crowd noise to stop Nevada in the fourth quarter, and they still stopped them regardless. But I talked to Matt Ince about that at this morning's weekly press conference. He said he didn't hear the crowd. He blocks out the crowd when he's coaching. So you know what? Coach doesn't have a preference on whether the crowd's there or not, but I think they should be there in the fourth quarter. It's tough, though, because a lot of the replies to my post said, well, my kid has a football game, or I got to beat the traffic, or, there's just a lot of different excuses that the fans give. I understand them all, but this is different. It's a 12:30 kickoff. It's homecoming. It's a blackout. Jeff Tedford will be there getting inducted to the Ring of Honor. San Diego State is getting votes in the AP Top 25 poll. I mean, do I got to give you more reasons to stay for a full game?
I mean, I think you've given them all, but looking at this matchup specifically against the Aztecs, what does this matchup look like?
Well, San Diego State has two fantastic players. I'll give them to you real quickly. Number one is Johnson. He's a lockdown corner, going to be drafted in the third round, projected this upcoming year, this year's draft. And then number two, Trey White, another guy you should watch, also going to get drafted.
We'll see how that matchup leads to on Saturday. Gabe, thanks for joining us. And now over to Riley to talk about the volleyball team.
Fresno State volleyball team played 2 games last week. They lost against Utah State in 3 sets on October 16th. The Dogs finished the game with 21 kills. Addison Haluska had 10 of them, while Madison Pulsfer had added 6 kills of her own. The Dogs then traveled to San Jose to battle the Spartans, where they also lost in 3 sets. The Dogs fall to 5-14 on the year and 1-7 in conference play. They're back home on Thursday against New Mexico at 6.
Men's basketball is heading back home for one night. On November 30th, the Dogs will return to where it all started. The Dogs will play one game back at the Selland Arena. They will be taking on head coach Vance Wahlberg's alma mater, CSU Bakersfield. The last time the Dogs played a game there was during the 2002-2003 season. The Dogs moved to the Save Mart Center the next season. Tickets for the upcoming game are now on sale through Ticketmaster.
The Red Wave was introduced to their men's and women's basketball teams on Saturday. Matinee Madness was an all-star weekend-style event. Both men and women's teams competed in a 3-point contest, skills challenge, and even a dunk contest. After the event, the Red Wave were able to push the court and get autographs from their favorite players on both teams.
The Bulldog equestrian team had a tough matchup on Friday afternoon against the 5th-ranked Texas Christian University. The Fresno State equestrian team celebrates a close victory over TCU, winning 10-8. The Bulldogs handed the Horned Frogs their first conference loss of the season at the Student Horse Center. This was the first ride of the season for freshman Maya Douglas.
So this week we were just really focusing on getting all of the horses just prepared and getting all of us on all the horses like as much as we can, and just prep ourselves mentally because it's a really tough team.
Fresno State's first victory over TCU in 4 years, ending a 10-meet loss streak against the team since 2021. Fresno State will travel to Waco, Texas to take on the Baylor Bears on October 31st with another match against Texas A&M the following day. Wish them luck on the road.
The women's soccer team played 2 games over the weekend. On Friday, they played Colorado State, which has a very defensive game for both sides, as by the end of the first period, it was 0-0. It was then in the 77th minute when a corner kick was sent in by Alexis Campbell and it bounced around until Laura Macera headed the ball in. Alexis was excited that they finally got in one in the net after a tough defensive battle.
Especially because we were having a lot of chances, and to finally get it back into the back of the net was really exciting. I feel like we've been working a lot and been trying to be dangerous, getting a lot of shots on goal. And
then on Sunday, the Dogs played Grand Canyon University, who took the lead at the end of the first period 2-1. Then the Dogs scored twice in the second period to win the game 3-2. The 2 wins, the Dogs need to win the next 2 games to make the post-conference season.
When I graduate, I want to work in sports media. So I was able to talk to Scott Bemis, who's a sports director with KC24 and CBS 47.
From the newsroom to the top of the stands at Radcliffe Stadium, Scott Bemis gets to use his love for sports as his job.
I feel fortunate, to be in this position where I do get to cover sports for a living. I think a lot of people would love the opportunity to do that.
Scott, for the last 5 years, has been helping with play-by-play for the Fresno City Rams and has been the sports director for KC24 and CBS 47.
TD for City, and it's a jump pass to 1950s football from the audience.
It's a TD for City, and it's a beauty. It's Scott's catchphrase for any touchdown that he likes, because at the end of the football game, Scott has a Bemis' best play. Shannon Pulliam has been helping Scott with the play-by-play for the last 3 years. He says that he enjoys his time with Scott and how they have grown closer to each other, which makes it easier to report the games.
Is traveling in the car to the away games. I think we have a really good time. The food we pick up to eat and the conversations we have and listening to college football on the radio.
Along with doing play-by-play and going on the news, Scott gets to do other sports segments that the news are starting to add, like the Fresno City Football Podcast that is recorded on Mondays and goes live on the KC24 and CBS 47 app. Scott gets the coach and a different player every week that he talks to about the previous game and what they expect for the rest of the season.
To check more of what Scott does, you can go to KC24 and CBS 47 app and website.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus on Sports, we recap the baseball games over the weekend and look forward to a potential U.S. and Canada World Series.
Plus, the NBA season tips off. Who starts the new season with a win? All that and more as we come back from the break.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes. Hey. Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head. Deep in my heart. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit. All over me. All over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart.
The 2 best words in sports, Game 7. The winner of tonight's Blue Jays and Mariners game will play the Dodgers in the Fall Classic. The Dodgers head north of the border for Game 1 if Toronto wins. Game 1 will be in LA if Seattle wins. So while we don't yet know the location or time, we do know Game 1 of the World Series will be this Friday.
With the Dodgers looking to be the first repeat champions in over 25 years, who do you want them to go up against?
I want them to go against the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays have just looked better in this Mariners-Blue Jays season. In this series alone, the Blue Jays have had to score 6 or more runs just to win them, which is really crazy to think that you need to put up that many runs, as they've had the back-to-back games where they went 13 runs and then 8 runs. And that's not even talking about what Vladimir Guerrero is doing for this team. He's batting .462 alone in the postseason. He's got 6 home runs, which is tying the record all-time for the Blue Jays postseason home runs.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely some great stats right there. I think it would also be pretty cool, though, to see a West Coast team going against a Canada team. I think that would be pretty cool. But I also agree that 2 West Coast teams battling it out would also be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, going to Canada would be really cool, especially if we had the chance to even go to Canada to watch a postseason game.
Oh, I went in June. It was beautiful. I definitely think some scenery to check out if you get the chance to go. Now, from the diamond to the hardwood. The NBA season kicks off tomorrow night on the 21st with Houston Rockets at Oklahoma City and the Golden State Warriors heading to LA. 2025 NBA champion and MVP SGA was able to take the win over the Nuggets last Friday. The Thunder are looking to continue the dynasty they began to build last year. The Lakers had a close game to end the preseason with the Sacramento Kings winning 117-116. Luka Doncic put up 31 points in 32 minutes, and Rui Hachimura made 4 three-pointers in their last preseason game on Friday. The NBA season opens tomorrow. The Warriors face the Lakers at 7 p.m.
And the Rockets will face the Thunder at 4:30 p.m. 2 former Bulldogs showed out on Sunday. Wide receiver Davante Adams helped the Rams beat the Jaguars in London. Adams had 5 catches for 35 yards and 3 touchdowns. Adams is currently tied for the league leader in receiving touchdowns with 6 this season. Cornerback Deron Bland got his first interception of the season against the Washington Commanders. Duran picked off Marcus Mariota and returned it for a 68-yard pick-6. Bland and the Cowboys won 44-22.
Even though the 49ers have pushed through many injuries, they're still keeping up. And Christian McCaffrey, he had a great game with 201 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. What did you think about last night's game?
I thought it was great. I mean, especially against a tougher Atlanta Falcons defense. I know not the best against the run, which is probably why McCaffrey had such a good game. But you got to think about the injuries that the Niners have, especially even some to the O-line, and they still were able to, have their way with the defensive line to get gaps open for Christian McCaffrey. But I don't want to skip past the Davante Adams game. The 3 touchdowns was crazy, as it was history for the first receiver to have 3 touchdowns that were all within 3 yards.
I agree. He definitely had a great game as well, so that was awesome to see for him.
Yes. Football isn't over, as there is a doubleheader tonight. The Bucs face the Lions is playing right now, and the Texans are facing the Seahawks at 7 p.m. It was another wild weekend of college football. 4 top 10 teams lost. Miami fell to Louisville, and Texas Tech lost to Arizona State. Ole Miss lost to Georgia, and LSU lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is now ranked in the top 10 for the first time since 1947. All of those rankings have moved except for Ohio State, who's still at number 1. How are we feeling about this?
Yeah, I agree. There were a lot of upsets this week in college football, and I definitely want to talk about Arizona State winning against Texas Tech and then their fans rushing the field. That had to have been a great experience for them winning at home.
No, Arizona State is definitely looked really nice. Sam Leavitt, the quarterback, I think he looks really good. For the conversation of how the season started with some of these quarterbacks that everybody was talking about, I feel like he was not really in the conversation. But if you look anywhere right now, Sam Leavitt is definitely up there with being one of the top quarterbacks so far this season.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely love to experience like a game win like that for the Dogs and rushing the field and that sort of thing. That had to, like I said, been a great experience for them, and they definitely had a great game.
Yes.
And that's our show.
We'll be right back next week to bring you more on your weekly focus on sports.
Our producer for this sportscast, Nick, will be our sports anchor on Wednesday for our weekly student newscast. We'll see you then.